Hi, I'm JJ Reich. I'm a writer for Realtree.com, and today we're going to be making 3 different meatball recipes. In a previous video, I showed you how to make a big batch of meatballs to freeze and have a bag of meatballs frozen in your freezer to use at any time. Well, now's the time to use it. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can use those meatballs. One will be a spicy chili kind of grape jelly appetizer that you use in a crock pot. The next will be a meatball marinara sub sandwich, and the final one is meatballs in a brown gravy that you slow cook, kind of like a stew. That's really good. You know, once you have that big bag of frozen meatballs, you can do anything you want with them. And my family really likes it. My kid loves it. So it's a quick fix, a very, very easy to make recipes. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes, all 3 of these recipes. I think you're gonna like them. So let's start doing it. Let's start making them. All right, this is the grape jelly chili recipe. It's an appetizer. I usually just warm it up, cook it in a crock pot. This is great for like football parties or, you know, anytime that you're getting together for a potluck or something like that. All right, to do this recipe, it's just 1 12-ounce bottle of Heinz chili sauce and 1 12-ounce jar of grape jelly. I'm setting the stove on about medium high. You know, basically what you need to do here is get the jelly warm and liquefied. So medium high works. And then you just keep stirring. It's very important to keep stirring the entire time. Helps break up the jelly, helps get the chili sauce and the jelly together into a sweet and spicy sauce. All right, this is sauce is ready to go. You know, the great thing about this appetizer is that it does just stay cooking in the slow cooker, and that's a good thing because the longer it cooks, the more tender the meatballs will become, and they can sit out on a table or whatnot at the party or wherever you're serving them for a couple hours and no problems. All right, it's time to make the meatball mozzarella sub sandwiches. So first I'm gonna warm up the sauce and warm up the meatballs with the peppers and the onions. So let's go ahead and do that. I just take a little olive oil in a saucepan here, and I cook up the onions and the peppers. You know, I cut up 1 red pepper, 1 green pepper, and 1 onion for this recipe. Okay, once I have them nice and sauteed, I reduce the heat a little bit. And then I go ahead and add the marinara sauce. Then the frozen meatballs. I go about 20 in this recipe to 25. Mix it all up. All right, the meatball marinara is gonna simmer for about half an hour, and then I'm gonna make the sub sandwich, which is basically just putting the meatballs on a sub bread and putting cheese and olives and whatever else you want on there. So in the meantime, I'm going to start with our third recipe, which is the meatball and brown gravy. All right, now we're going to do the third recipe. This is another easy recipe, and it's meatballs with golden mushroom sauce. Golden brown mushroom sauce. Now this is done in the oven, so I use my Dutch oven. You can use any covered casserole dish, but I'm really a big fan of the Dutch oven. It's very, very simple. All you have to do is take the meatballs, frozen meatballs from your freezer. You know, another 20 to 25 meatballs in here. Looks good. And I diced up some celery and some onions. We'll put those in. I'm going to use about a cup. All right, and mushrooms is another optional element or ingredient you can put in here. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. I have some pre-sliced mushrooms that I rinsed. So I'll go ahead and put those in too. And the gravy is very easy. The gravy is just basically golden mushroom soup. 2 cans. Let's crack that open. Okay, the next ingredient is basically just a half a can of water. So I'll use the same soup can. Get some more of that soup mix out of there. I like to spice it up just a little bit here, so I will be using some onion powder and some garlic powder. And I'll throw in some fresh parsley. I'll mix this up. Now this is going to go in the oven, you know, 2 to 4 hours. You can eat it after 2 hours because the meatballs are already cooked. You're just warming everything up. But you can leave it in there for 4 hours if you wanted the meatballs to get even more tender. This is a very easy recipe. When you're stirring it, you just want to make sure that you don't break up the meatballs. But everything will cook down a little nicely and it'll become a nice gravy. You can serve this on potatoes or egg noodles. I have the oven preheated at 375. Again, I'll put this in for 2 to 4 hours. You could, like I said, you can eat it after 2 hours, but if you want to leave it in longer, get those meatballs a little more tender, you can do that as well. So please read the article for a complete ingredients list, plus some more tips on how to prepare these 3 recipes you saw today. And again, there's a video on how to make a big batch of meatballs so that you have them frozen in the freezer and you can use them for these type of recipes. My family loves these meatball recipes, and I have 10 other recipes that I commonly use. But I wouldn't be able to make it if I didn't have those frozen meatballs in the freezer, so I like to have them on hand at any given notice. So that concludes the video today. Hope you like it, and happy eating.